Hi, how you doing? It's Adrian McGivern here from Leading Results. Just wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time just to walk you through this. It's a small business marketing made easy presentation. So I know that not everyone thinks that marketing is easy or straightforward, and often it's seen as an expense rather than something that generates income and profit. Biggest reason for this, or the big pitfall with marketing, is that we look around us to see what everyone else does, and we basically copy what we think everyone else is doing right and make the same mistakes that everyone everyone makes without realizing it. So just a couple of minutes to run through this short presentation, just hopefully to show you a little bit about what we do and how we might be able to help you. So we're just really going through the common pitfalls. So first of all, how do you currently get customers for your business? With many small businesses, we all sort of do the same use the same similar sort of tactics to generate customer inquiries. Um, the old good old favorite was advertising in newspapers. So if you look through any local newspaper now, you'll find that there are still quite a lot of ads, but you have to wonder sometimes what the return is on those. Word of mouth referrals is probably the single biggest means of generating customers for many of our businesses. Local radio, because there's many new local radio stations around the country, we can generally access our local community more effectively and a better price, than what would have been possible 10 years ago. So it's become quite popular as well. The phone book, yellow pages or golden pages, depending on where you are in the country. It used to be the staple of any business advertising, but as you're well aware, the phone books have got smaller and smaller as fewer people actually paid advertising on them. But that's it creates an opportunity for some businesses. Your website with either organic or paid search. Um, this is the sort of my speciality, digital and online advertising, because it's very cost effective and very reliable, and it's just where your customers are online. So the first question I want to ask you about those methods, do you know what works? Um, Unfortunately, not many of us take the time to track the response rates and the effectiveness and the return that we get on our advertising. All businesses really have to advertise this, by one means or many. Every one of us have to market our business to get customers to either ring us, email us, or get them through the door. So you have to do something to market your business. And even if you think you're not doing anything, that it sort of comes to you, you're probably doing word of mouth without realizing it. Okay, we'll start off looking at newspaper ads. It's a traditional method of marketing. It was on a national scale, it still is very expensive. You're looking at several £1,000s or euros to run even a smallish, like a credit card size ad, or maybe like a postcard size ad. Sorry, rather than credit card, postcard size ad in any of the national newspapers. Response rates are often quite low, but in saying that, it can still work quite well for lead generation ads. And there's some companies that are pretty smart at using lead generation, like the national PVC companies and the hearing aid companies would be good examples of someone who uses newspaper advertising very effectively and probably quite efficiently. The, so the problem with newspaper ads are they're often unreliable, because of the nature of the adverts that the businesses use. Many adverts would put a branding type advert in rather than direct response, because it's something that's not that widely known. And as a consequence of poor response rates, it becomes very expensive. The fact that someone's spending, the examples I give you with the hearing aid companies and the PVC window companies, the fact that they're spending maybe 4,000 and 5,000 euros or pounds to get an advert in the paper, they probably wouldn't do that for very long if it wasn't making them money. But because of the nature of their adverts that they're using and the responses they're getting and the business that they generate from it, they're probably they're probably very cost effective for them. So the solution would be to use direct response efforts, and that the reason for that would be twofold. Direct response adverts allow you to use smaller adverts, so your advert itself will be cheaper. You can measure the response rates from your advertising, which means you know exactly how many leads you generate from an ad, and you can change or switch or stop your ad depending on what the response rates are like. So direct response will be the way forward on that. Word of mouth marketing. So it's something that many businesses maybe solely rely on. Word of mouth, the fors and against of word of mouth. Pros would be obviously it's free or virtually free for most businesses. The other big benefit of word of mouth marketing is the endorsement you're getting from someone that knows you or has done business with you. So somebody who's been a customer in the past and are giving you their endorsement to friends, relatives, work colleagues, whoever. Or someone who just knows you and likes you and trusts you and said that you're going to do you're going to look after the person that they're referring you to. The cons for it are it's unreliable, meaning that you can't rely on word of mouth to happen when you need it. So if you've got employees, you've got a big overhead that's going to burn through your cash or your profits fairly quickly if you don't have customers coming through the door. So word of mouth is sod's law. It tends to happen and work really well when you're very busy, and it's unfortunate that if if business is slow or quiet, it just doesn't seem to happen. And so in that effect, you can't manage word of mouth, or most businesses can't manage word of mouth because you don't have a system in place to make it happen. So word of mouth marketing, the prime problem is it's unreliable, and the solution would be to have a referral system or a word of mouth marketing system, and that's something that we can help businesses with. Local radio advertising, it's not something that we would claim to be experts in, but often businesses rely on the advertising company themselves, so the radio sales rep, to be the expert, and generally they're just salespeople. They don't have, they don't know about sort of the psychology that goes behind marketing and advertising, and as a consequence of that, businesses run ads, which can be very expensive, which very often get poor response rates, and they're sold on the basis of getting the sales reps sell the advertising space on the basis of getting your brand out there, getting your name recognized, and getting out there and being known. But recognition requires repetition, and repetition requires a big investment in prime radio spots. So there's no point in advertising at 2:30 in the afternoon when maybe people are at work, they're maybe lifting the kids from school or whatever. It depends on who your market is. First thing is you need to know that your market is listening to the radio when you put your ads on, and that often isn't the case. People advertise and they're sold value spots in radio airtime at a low cost or lowish cost, but that no one's there listening, or their target market certainly aren't listening. So if you're selling to homeowners, say you're selling kitchens and you're using radio advertising, you probably want to be advertising in the prime spots, so like the 7:30 to 9 o'clock or 7:30 to 8:30 time slot, and again in the evening from 5 to 6 would be the prime times for advertising to your market, because you want people who are out working, who are earning an income and are going to be capable of paying for your services or paying for your kitchens. So there's no point in advertising during the day to the people who are sitting at home and maybe don't have any money to spend on a new kitchen, or the same go with the PVC companies. You want people who are able to spend and inclined to spend. So they have to have money in the first place. So the vast majority of people who will have money to spend on your product or service are going to be those who are going out to work every day. And the time to catch them with radio advertising is when they're in their car, driving to work or coming home from work. So that's we'll leave that at that. Um, Radio ads can work really well as if used as a lead generation ad. So you have a call to action in your ads. You're not just leaving it to chance and hoping that someone's going to listen to your ad and then Google your name and find your contact details and pick up the phone and call you. You want to have give in the advert, have a strong reason to respond. So you're having a sale, or you're going to offer a discount, or you're doing a special. You want to announce your phone number on your website, or one or the other, depending on what way you want to drive responses. And ideally, you want to use a unique phone number that can be tracked to that ad, or a unique landing page, a unique website, whatever, that can be tracked to that ad, so you can measure response rates. Because without a means of measuring it, you're just sort of guessing that maybe someone heard it, maybe they didn't. Maybe when someone responded to it, maybe they didn't. But having a means of response and having a good, strong reason to respond is very important with any adverts, but especially with local radio advertising. It can be very cost effective because local radio stations, their advertising rates will be much lower than national, and but their reach is then obviously limited to a local area. So you're hoping that local people who are in your market are listening to that particular radio station, and listen to the times that you're going to be advertising. So you have to be aware of the content and the nature of the radio programs you're going to be advertising, to make sure that your message is going out to your target audience at the right time in the appropriate medium. Yellow pages, golden pages advertising again was up until probably 10 years ago was a very traditional means of advertising, but it'll be very popular, often very expensive, because there's a bit of it was at the time, the more money you could spend, the bigger advert you could place, the more likely you were to capture a market. So just a quick example here, take the local Northern Ireland Yellow Pages and look through here. Just let's see, if we take, here's a good example here. So the people who are still putting the bigger adverts in are probably attracting the most attention, as opposed to the smaller ads. It's probably the ones making your ad stand out as much as possible would be the way to attract attention. But to be honest, there's still a lot of businesses advertising on the Yellow Pages or Golden Pages, but are your customers going to be there? Are you advertising in the Golden Pages, Yellow Pages, in the hope that someone will see your ad? I hold on to the books just to see the type of ads and see who's actually paying for advertising space. But I know very often the phone books go from the post box to the bin with little or no opportunity of your advert ever being seen. People use Google. Google is in your phone or on your laptop, on your iPad, whatever, and all the information you might ever need is there at your fingertips. So you have to think about who is likely to go to the phone book to look for a service provider or look for a product. If you look in the overall demographics, younger people are not going to go to the phone book. They're going to go to Google. Older people may still, there's still a good proportion of them who will still have the Yellow Pages at home or the Golden Pages at home. But because technology has got so easy to use, Google has got so easy, you can even just talk to it, push a button on your phone and talk to it, ask Google for, give me a local company who makes fitted kitchens, or a local company who makes PVC windows, and Google will provide you with the answers. So the reason to go to the Yellow Pages is greatly diminished, and even that older demographic, my father's 70 and he knows how to use Google, so the inclination to go to pick up the phone book is getting smaller and smaller. So we have to think about who's likely to use your ad, or who's likely to look for your ad, and then if you are still determined to place an advert, you have to be aware that you're being placed next to your competitors. So, can your ad stand out? So, can you encourage people to call you over your adverts or over your competitors? Um, it can be used effectively as a small ad if you're using lead generation ads. So, answer a question that someone may have about a service. So, why would they give them a reason to call you over your competitors? You need to have a strong call to action. You need to have a reason to respond, and also you want to have a method of response that can be measured against that advert. So again, a unique phone number or a unique website stroke landing page. You don't necessarily want to be placed next to your competitors unless you can really stand out. And the old way you could stood out was to use the biggest ad you possibly could. So a lot of companies would have taken 2-page spreads in the golden pages or yellow pages just to be the biggest show in town and to stand out and hopefully to attract as many of the phone calls as possible. And it worked to an extent, but does it still work today? I'd have to be proven. I don't believe that I could justify spending thousands on a yellow pages or a golden pages advert anymore now, when there are much more cost effective and much more reliable and efficient means of marketing your business. Marketing with your website. So if you don't already have a website, you really have to question why that would be the case, because everyone goes to Google for answers to the question. So whether they're looking for a service provider, they're looking for a product, they're looking for a solution to a problem, they're going to the web to find answers. So your website is not often a sales tool unless you're in e-commerce. So unless you sell products over a website, your website is effectively a lead generation tool or an advertising tool. The means of having the website is not to sell a kitchen. The reason to have a website is that you want customers who are looking for a kitchen or looking for PVC windows or looking for a new wood-fired stove to get in contact. You find your website, provide a reason to get in touch, and they would, a means of getting in touch with you and getting found. So marketing your website, your website has to be found. That's the first thing. So the two ways, or there's more than two ways, but I'm going to cover the top two here. Organic search on Google, which is the free listings. So the little example here shows the difference between free and paid. And the second being paid search, PPC, using AdWords. Now there are more means of advertising on Google or other places than using AdWords, but AdWords is the most, probably the most straightforward, the most easy to use. It's the most well known, and it's probably the most effective of the paid ads on Google. There's other types. There's placement ads. There's display advertising, and there's video ads in YouTube. But we're going to just focus on PPC and AdWords for now. So your customers are searching for your services on the web, on Google, primarily Google, also with Bing, which is the Microsoft version of search, but 70% plus of the search is done using Google. So it'd be google.ie or google.co.uk or google.com, depending on whereabouts you're located. Your customers are searching for your services, but the question is, will they find you on the web? Will they find you on page one? The old running joke was that the best place to bury a dead body is on page 2 of Google, because there's on page 1 there are 10 organic listings, and it's depending on what you're searching for. There could be 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 paid links, paid search ads. So there's anywhere between 10 and 17 results served up on page 1 of Google. So you're probably going to find what you're looking for on page 1. It's very rare that I would go to page 2, because the best results, as in Google's eyes, are going to be served on page 1, whether that's the paid ads or the organic search. So getting found on Google, what do you have to do? Well, with pay-per-click or AdWords, the first thing you need to know is you need to know your keywords, know what your customers are searching for. So what words or terms are they entering in Google to when they're doing a search. And very, in basic terms, without going into too much detail, first you need to know your keywords or key phrases or key terms that are being searched for. And then the second one is you need to send your visitors, so when they click on your ad, they need to be sent to a dedicated or specific landing page. Reasons for this is if someone is searching for say you're a builder's merchant, and someone is searching for a new bathroom suite, and they click on the ad and they go to your builder's merchant homepage where they can see bricks and blocks, they can see PVC piping, they can see timber, they can see paint, plumbing supplies, all these different things, all the different options. If they're being served a very generic page, the chances are they're going to click back and go somewhere else. And that is you've paid that first click that got them there. You've paid Google to get those visitors to your website. And that's the biggest mistake that most people who use PPC or AdWords make, is to have the clicks, their adverts clicking through to a generic homepage rather than a specific page about the product that they were advertising. So if you're advertising bathroom suites, you want to have a page for bathroom suites. Ideally, if you're advertising white modern bathroom suites, you want to have a page set up so when they click on the ad, they're going to white modern bathroom suites. The common mistakes with PPC is poor choices of keywords. So sometimes the keywords could be, your keyword choice could be too broad. So you're getting, if you were just on that example about bathrooms, so if you were advertising bathroom suites, but you had your keywords set, you chose bathrooms as one of your keywords, you could be getting clicks for people who search for how to fix my bathroom, my bathroom's leaking, my how to resurface my bath in my bathroom. You can, it's too generic. You want to make your keywords as specific as possible. So if you advertise pink fluffy elephants, make sure you're, advertising your keywords are pink fluffy elephant toys or whatever. Not having a specific landing page is the second big mistake. So you want to make sure that when someone clicks on your ad, as I said, to have a dedicated landing page or a dedicated page on your website that talks specifically about what it was that they clicked on. So if the search term is pink fluffy elephant toys, you want to have a dedicated page to pink fluffy elephant toys, so that when a visitor comes through, they see immediately what it is that you were what they were searching for, so you don't run the risk of someone clicking to you by accident and clicking back, because that's going to burn through your AdWords budget very, very quickly, and that happens way too often. Getting found in Google with organic search, that's the free listings. So again, you need to know what your keywords and phrases are that your clients or your customers are searching for. You need to provide useful, relevant content that answers the questions, I suppose, well, for two reasons. One, to answer the question that the visitor has. So if they're searching for, a local company that installs PVC front doors, you want to have good quality, relevant content on your website about PVC front doors in your area, because you don't want to be, if you're a business based in Donegal and you have someone searching for PVC front doors in Kinsale and Cork, you probably don't want them as a customer because they're going to be quite far away. It's not feasible to drive down to that 300-400 miles, whatever it is, from Donegal to Cork to measure something and be able to sell it to them and install it to them at a profit. So you probably want to make sure you're attracting customers in the area. Be specific enough that you're attracting customers in the area that you want to provide for. And so your keywords, key phrases are really, really important, that you're getting found for what it is that people are searching for. You want to make sure you're optimizing your content for search. So that makes it, that's the second part of the quality content is that Google sees that your website or your content is relevant to the search. So you building content for search engine optimization is a skill in itself. You want to make use of the keywords and phrases sufficiently enough that Google knows what you're talking about, that you're providing the service or product that is being searched for. But in days gone by, there was an attempt made to game the search engines to be found for keywords and phrases by basically stuffing the content full of those keywords. Now, Google will not serve your results if you're keyword stuffing. So if you make too much use, even an accidental overuse of the keywords can be seen as keyword stuffing, and you won't be found on Google for it because of that. So you have to be quite careful about the number of times you use your keywords or key terms in your content. And it needs to be well written as well, because you can't just throw up tripe and hope that someone's going to see you as a useful or knowledgeable business on your subject. So it needs to be good quality content rather than just throwing up rubbish. It needs to engage them as well. That's another thing. You need to make use of multiple content types to try and get people to stay on your site as long as possible. I'll explain it in a second. The mistakes made with organic search or organic the free listings, or the mistakes made that stop you getting into the organic search listings. No content at all on your blog site. So lots of web designers will offer to build a small, like 5-page or 6-page website or 10-page website that allows you to put sufficient content on, or sufficient pages up for your different products or services. But it might be quite shallow in terms of the depth. There may only be 1 page per service. So if you might have a page about oak kitchens, and a page about shaker style kitchens, and a page about hardwood worktops, or a page about granite worktops. But that will be seen by Google to be quite light in terms of content. A good website, or a good, well-structured website, will have a blog on it, which provides more than enough space to allow you to back up your key terms or key words and phrases with adequate content that makes you into an authority on your product. That's really what Google wants to provide the visitors with, is sites that present themselves as an authority on their subject, whether that be a product or a service. So you need to provide in-depth content to be found by Google, and it needs to be optimized for the keywords. And to do that, you have to have a blog on your site, really. Not providing engaging or quality content, right? That's another big problem. If someone does find your website and they only stay for a few seconds, and they decide that you're not providing the answers that they want, or you're not providing enough content to keep them there, they're going to click back off. And that is seen as a bit of a ding against you by Google. If people are clicking to your website and very quickly clicking back away to the search results again, they're going to, Google in their algorithm is seeing your site as not providing the answers that people are searching for. And what they're going to do is they're going to push you down the web search results. And if you happen to have been lucky enough to be on page 1 and people start clicking away quickly, you're going to very soon find yourself on page 2 or 3, because Google is all about serving quality content to the visitors. So if you're not providing enough either detailed quality content to keep people reading for at least a few minutes, or even better, you want to provide photographs and video that engages them and keeps them there. The longer they stay on your site, the better, because if they're scrolling through your site and clicking around on your website, Google is seeing that as engagement, and they see that as someone who is finding the answers to their problems on your site, and they will reward you by pushing you up the search results. So that's the importance of engaging in quality content. The final big mistake with organic is that basically giving a web designer a free rein to design you a nice site. So web designers are basically graphic designers. They will provide you with a website that looks nice and pleasing to the eye, but generally that's not what Google wants to see. They are more interested in content. So you could have a pure blank white website with really high quality written content, engaging videos, photographs that keep your visitors scrolling through, and the website could be a blank white template, and you will be found in Google much quicker, much higher up in the search results than somebody with a very flowery, nicely designed, beautiful website that has little or no content on it. So you have to be wary of letting the web designer do those things. It's more important that you would have a content marketer or someone who understands SEO and content design your website than having a web designer producing some work of art that doesn't get found. 5 keys to getting found with organic search. So your keyword research is the most important thing. You want to be found for the keywords and terms that customers are searching for. So regardless of what you may like to be found for, if you want visitors to come to your website, you need to be using the terms and words that they're searching for. As I said, the second part was the quality, having quality content that answers questions and engages. So having a frequently asked questions section, having videos that are there, talking head videos or videos just demonstrating your product or showing off your products or services. Customer testimonials in video work really, really well. So it gives people a reason to stay on your site and watch your content. Site structure is very important, because if the underlying structure of your website isn't good or isn't designed appropriately, then it's not going to get found on Google just because of technical reasons. So, without needing to explain these to you, titles, title tags, H1 and H2 tags, interlinking and metadata, that's all stuff that happens behind that's the engine and the mechanical structure of your website that you don't necessarily see. You won't see. You might see the metadata in the search snippets, but the rest of it you won't actually see in your website. But it's very important that it's there, and it's very important that it's done properly. And also external links inbound from other sites to your website, and it's also important to link out as well, so that you're seeing that you're linking to quality content elsewhere, because you want to be seen as an authority, or be seen by Google as someone who knows what they're talking about. Using meta and snippets that encourage the click. So metadata or rich snippets are the things that appear when you do a Google search, and Google shows you the URL, basically the website address at the top, and then there's a little bit of bump underneath that, a couple of lines of bump that tell you about the website. Every page on your website has metadata or snippets, and it's important that these snippets encourage the reader to click to your website and rolling it on. So sometimes you read it and it's complete gobbledygook, and sometimes you'll read it and you say that's that answers the question, or the answer it's what I'm searching for. So it's important that that snippet content encourages the reader to click to your website. Lastly, this is not the extent, this isn't everything, but I just wanted to give you 5 things that are important. Site loading speed is hugely important, because a slow website, if people are increasingly impatient, so if they click on your link on the Google search results, and if it doesn't appear, it doesn't load up within the first couple of seconds, 2-3 seconds, they're going to click away. So I've seen some examples of giving sites 10 to 15 seconds to load and still not being completely loaded, and no one will wait that length of time. They'll get impatient and they'll click away because your site is just slow, and that's generally down to poor design, the images being too big, and not being, the whole site not being optimized for slow broadband speeds, and basically just being image heavy, or built badly with too many mechanical things going wrong in the background that you can't see, but Google has to load too many pieces of data to show your website. So site loading speed is very important. Last thing I want to say is, you want visitors to come, but you want them to stay in your site, and of course you really want them to contact you. So on every page, you want to make your site easy to navigate. If you're going to have a contact form on one page, or your contact details on one page, make your site very easy to navigate. Make sure the navigation is very obvious. But ideally, you want to give a means to respond, be it a contact form or your phone number, on each page of your website. Making PPC work, so pay per click. Making pay-per-click search work for you. The 5 keys to PPC: keyword research being the most important one, because you want to be found for the right things. Give your ad a headline. So on an AdWords ad, there's an opportunity to put, I think it's 30 characters of a headline on the ad. So that encourages it. It draws the eye to the ad. Use the ad to attract the right visitor. So in the there's 3 lines of content underneath the link, and that is your opportunity to attract the right visitor. So you don't necessarily want to be as clear as possible about the product or service, or the problem you're solving, or the solution you're providing, so that you're only attracting clicks from the right type of visitor. So you're not wasting money getting the wrong visitors. You don't want people clicking to your website, finding that they've made a mistake, that you're not what they're looking for, and clicking away, because you're paying for every click. You want to match the landing page, or the page of your website that your ad is going to, so that people are finding quickly what it is they're searching for. That you don't want to be using pay-per-click to drive people to the home page of your landing site, and then leaving it up to them to wander around aimlessly and find what they're looking for, because they won't. If they don't find it in the first click, they're going to click away and go somewhere else, and you'll pay the price. Use an effective method of response and reason to respond. So you really want to make it as easy as possible to respond to you. So that's having your phone number, a click to call phone number at the top of your website. You want to have a contact form that is easy to fill out. You don't want to be asking for any more information than is necessary. Basically, you really want is their first name and their email address, and maybe a phone number, and the product or service that they're interested in. So you want to keep the content that you're asking for to a bare minimum, because you want to encourage people to fill it out. If you ask them to fill out a 2-page form to get in contact with you, you're not going to get many responses. So you want at a minimum, you want their email, ideally their name and phone number as well. So, but remember that every click is costing you, so make sure that it counts. Okay, this is one that I didn't you mention in the first page, because not many businesses, especially local businesses, are using it. Most people are still sticking with the traditional forms of advertising plus maybe AdWords, but Facebook is highly effective. It is really one of the best places to spend your advertising money, because it really gets, when it's done properly, it gets results fast. Facebook advertising can be best described as direct response advertising, or I suppose it's the modern equivalent of the old newspaper ads. So it's different from Google in that people, your visitors or your potential customers aren't going to Facebook to search for your service. They're going there to be entertained. They're going to watch cat videos. They're going to see what their friends are doing. To post pictures of their kids or wedding pictures or whatever. But they're not going there to search. So Facebook serves up and once every 4 or 5 scrolls through your news feed, you'd probably find an advert. If you put an engaging advert in front of your target customer or client, chances are they're going to click on the ad to watch it, or listen to your video, or watch your video, or read your text, or look at your pictures, or whatever. And if you engage them well enough, they'll click through to get in contact with you. There's several. Facebook enables very accurate targeting. And the old days of newspaper advertising, you probably, if you're a local business, you probably tried to advertise in your local paper, or in the areas that you wanted to get customers in. So Facebook enables you to target people who live, in you can pinpoint, you can drop a pin on a map and advertise to people within 1 mile of that pin, whether they happen to be working in that area or whether they're living in the area. You can target adverts very, very accurately using Facebook in terms of people's incomes, their job role, their it's just, you can pick out your customers based on their interests as well. The Facebook advertising platform enables multiple mediums to be used. So you can use display ads like a picture. You can use an ad with scrolling text, like basically like a video, but with text in it. So you want them to read content. You can have a video with a talking head, or showing testimonials, or demonstrating a product, or whatever. You can use any medium. It's a bit like a crossover between very targeted TV and very targeted newspaper advertising. It enables direct or immediate response. So someone can click on that advert and get in contact with you right away. They could click to call you. They can click to fill out a contact form. They can click to get in a conversation through Messenger. Numerous means of response, but it enables immediate response. The big benefit from Facebook advertising is it's very, very cost effective, and it's very fast. So I don't mean it necessarily is cheap, but it is cost effective in that your cost of acquiring a lead is quite low compared to other mediums. And the fact that it's trackable and measurable, and you can test different ads, and you can change your ads very quickly. It's not like a TV or a radio or a newspaper advert, where when you place the ad, when you build an ad and run it, you're cast in stone. You've spent your money, and if you don't get the response that you want, it's tough. With Facebook ads, you can test an ad for a couple of days, and if you're not getting your ad, if you're not getting the response rates that you expect or want, you can stop the ad immediately and change it and restart it again. So it is very immediate in terms of getting responses. It's also very immediate in terms of how you can react and change and modify your ads as you feel you need to. So the big reason to use Facebook advertising is your customers are on Facebook for, on average, 50 minutes a day. That's basically the statistics, the current statistics for Facebook usage. And it's maybe as close as many people are spending in terms of time on watching TV as well. So it's a highly targeted, highly effective, and that's, your customers are on Facebook. That's, as I mentioned already, you can target customers by location, by their job title or occupation, by their interests. So if you want to target people who are interested in flower arranging, you can find them. If you want to target people who are interested in building their own homes, or renovating, or remodeling, redecorating, if they're interested in their pets, their kids, their pastimes, if they're kiteboarders, or if they like mountain biking, all those interests can be targeted very very tightly. And also their age. So you have particular demographics in terms of age or income, You can also find those people on Facebook as well. So it's very targeted, very it's like using a sniper rifle to find to hit your customers, as opposed to using a blunderbuss. The old ways of advertising were very general, so you had to keep messages, your marketing message as maybe as send it as broad as possible and hope that you catch enough people to make it worth your while. Well, with Facebook ads, you can basically target people to almost individuals. If you want to find people called Paul, you can call that out. You could say in an advert, if your name's Paul and you're between 25 and 27 and you want to get fit, you can target those people, and you live in the Newry area. That's how specific it can be. Facebook advertising is different from many other forms of advertising in terms of its, it allows very complex marketing funnels to be used. So in terms of getting, going to someone who knows nothing about you and knows nothing about your business or your solution, your product, you can target them by a particular problem that they may have, and you can warm them up to the idea of your solution, and eventually get them to contact you and buy from you. So that's the example of a marketing funnel. Or alternatively, you can use simple, immediate, direct response ads, which will be, if you want this, click here. And that's you use different types of ads depending on the nature of your product and the market that you're trying to reach. But the point is, it's extremely flexible. You can be as complex or as simple as you need to be or want to be. It also uses, you can use video. Video is a great way of engaging people to either to endear them to you. So you can use video is very good at appealing to emotions or ideas or affiliation. And video is also a great way of explaining a complex product or service. So if you have a product that is, say, for talk's sake, you've invented a brand new ride-on lawnmower, and it's on tracks, or it's only got 2 wheels, and it balances itself. And to try and describe that to someone would be extremely difficult. But if you're able to show them an ad of this 2-wheel lawnmower scooting around the garden, cutting the grass, and not missing any edges, and not leaving any spaces, and not leaving on tracks in the grass, a video is a great way of explaining something that is otherwise hard to describe in writing or in text or in photographs. Last point in Facebook ads, they are highly effective. So you can, because they're so tightly targeted, and because there are multiple ways of attracting customers that are very low cost, that just makes it a no-brainer to most businesses, or should make it a no-brainer to most businesses, in terms of at least giving it a try, because your customers are on Facebook, whether you believe that to be the case or not. The number of people who are not on Facebook would be extremely small, and like everything else, it shouldn't be your only means of attracting customers. But for a lot of businesses that I'm working with, in some cases it is their only means, but they don't need to. They generate more leads and more inquiries than they're able to follow up on, so that they're not having to use any alternative mediums for marketing and advertising. So it's certainly worth trying, at least anyway. The downside to Facebook ads is that it's a little bit technical in how to set the advert up and how to run the ad. Facebook do give you ways on your Facebook business page to boost posts, but boosting a post is it's quick and it's nasty. The targeting is pretty general. and the reach of the ads would be quite low in terms of getting your ad viewed by your audience. So the targeting options are very limited because it's a quick way of that Facebook have of extracting cash from you, and you know you generally don't have enough options in targeting and creating the ad from a boosted post to get yourself in front of your target audience effectively enough to get a good response. The place to look for Facebook ads is in a business manager account, and that is I suppose it is quite technical. It's easy to use. They've made it. Facebook have made it easy enough to use to extract money from you, but still it's difficult enough to use that to make it effective and to make it cost effective can still be quite challenging. So it's generally a good idea to seek advice from someone who knows how to run Facebook ads really well. So that's just a final friendly word of advice there. What next? Okay, well, this sort of comes to the end of my presentation. What next? Do you want more customers fast? If you do, I would be more than happy to have a chat with you. We can book a free strategy session with me. Basically, we can do this over a phone call, or depending on where you are located, we can do it in person. But if you want to discover how you can generate more leads in a matter of hours, if you want to learn how to use a cost-effective, reliable marketing to generate profit now, we'd certainly be happy to talk to you. If you're interested in finding out how you can outmaneuver and outsmart and outmarket your competition, we can do a quick analysis of who your competitors are, what they're doing to get customers, and we can certainly help you to outmarket them without breaking the piggy bank in terms of the cost of it. And also, if word of mouth is your thing and you get a lot of your business through word of mouth, but you'd like to make that work better and smarter, then do get in touch as well, because we've got a great system for generating repeat and referral customers. So to do that, if you want to book your session, get in touch. I'm going to keep this very brief. The easy way is to go to leading-results.com, and on the front page you'll see a contact form that gives you the opportunity. It asks you to, if you want to book your strategy session now, fill out the form and we'll be in touch. Also, all my contact details are there on the site. Finally, I'm Adrian McGivern, and this was my brief marketing strategy education for you. Hopefully it's helped with you. Hopefully it's helped you to see what opportunities lie ahead for you, for your business, to get more customers, and also to make repeat and referred customers work better and smarter for your business. That's it. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you find something of help. Thank you.